to Jerusalem. It's good to see you within the space of a few months, the second time in Israel. I want to welcome you and your entire delegation to Jerusalem. We have many things that are common. We are heirs to the ideas and values that were championed in antiquity in Rome and Jerusalem. I have to say that our relationship is decidedly better in the modern period than it was then. But there were important contributions to civilization that originated here in Jerusalem and in Rome, and the fusion of these two ideas really gave rise to our civilization. Our modern societies are based on these shared values: representative government, the rule of law, women's rights, minority rights, and all other rights that our citizens cherish and hold. I know we both share hopes that these values will somehow become more deeply rooted in the Middle East, because the more rooted these values are in the Middle East, the greater the chances for peace. And this may take some time. And may go through a lot of turbulence. The Prime Minister and I talked about this turbulence and the challenges facing both our countries and the world from the region. We also talked about how we could further strengthen the relationship between our two countries, because that friendship is growing steadily and mightily, and we want to make it grow even faster. I told Prime Minister Monti that in my first term as Prime Minister, the trade between Italy and Israel was, as you said, a pittance. It was a few $100 million. Now it's over $4 billion, but it'll grow further and further. And I think this meeting is one of the ways to advance it. So I want to thank you for everything you've done and are doing, not only to facilitate this expansion, but also what you have done to stabilize Italy's economy, and I would say the economy of Europe. This is important to you, but it's also important to us. Europe is our largest, an enormous trading partner. Italy is an enormous trading partner within Europe, the second largest trading partner we have. And we have, as I think everyone in the world, we all have an abiding interest for your success. Today we took a further step in cementing our relations by signing a host of agreements and this common declaration, which represents the real thrust and bedrock of our relations. I want to confide with you that I just discussed with Prime Minister Monti that these achievements, your achievements in Italy and our achievements in weathering the economic storm and the regional turbulence in Israel are not obvious, because we both share one other problem. We have fragmented political systems, and that makes it very hard. If you don't have external challenges, political fragmentation is largely irrelevant. But when you face enormous historic challenges in the economic field, and in our case, in the economic and security field, political fragmentation could become a problem. I learned about some ideas of how Italy wants to stabilize political fragmentation. I have a few of my own, but this heightens the achievements, and I want to commend you, Prime Minister Monti, for it. We want to stress that we view that there is no limit to our relations, cooperation in every field, and I think that this meeting will enhance that and make it possible. So welcome to Jerusalem.
Mr. Prime Minister, thank you very much. It's really a great pleasure and privilege to be here today, the second time in 6 months, as you mentioned already, and to note how our friendship continues to grow over the years, and I would say over the months. This time I came with a team of key Italian ministers who had an opportunity under your auspices to have dialogues with their counterparts in your government, and we had an opportunity to just hear over the concluding plenary the wide array of areas where concrete projects are already ongoing and where further achievements are in process. The Italian people, and certainly this government in particular, but I would say that it is really a feeling, a genuinely felt feeling of the Italian people, are full of admiration for Israel, for what Israel stands for, and are full of admiration for the achievements of contemporary, of Israel in the very last years under your leadership. And the notion of a startup nation which encapsulates so many things about Israel is a model throughout the world and has also inspired some key planks of our bilateral cooperation. This year's summit can be summarized by three main objectives: growth, science, and culture. On the economic front, we are launching a more structured approach to facilitate the efforts of startups and venture capitalists by bridging the gap between our two countries, and we do so through an important memorandum of understanding. As I hinted already, Israel has been defined the startup nation for its remarkable technological development, but I would say also startup nation in the societal sense, which is not less important. And given our respective expertise, we are here, as in many other respects, complementary, with the opportunity to benefit from important synergies in the innovation sector. A number of important businesses from our two countries have invested in the other in a broad range of sectors, from telecommunications to high-tech and constructions, but we need to further boost these figures. We need to achieve more and more, I would say, integration between our two countries. And I've been told that there are many other investment opportunities, for example, in the infrastructure sector, including the important new rail link from the Black Sea to the Mediterranean.
Red.
Sorry, of course, red. Of course, red. For the time being.
It's only if we discover a lot of petroleum in the seabed that it will become black.
Yes. In this regard...
And we're working on satellite projects, as we learned today from our science ministers.
Yes.
If I can share this with the press here, that we are developing satellites that could look and identify from space and identify mineral deposits from space. We both agreed this could be a tremendous development, but I suggested that we keep the information that we find between us, between Italy and Israel, and not go anywhere else. Well, Black Sea, potentially, maybe.
So, you see.
Please.
Italians are sometimes well known also for their imagination.
Vision. Vision.
We welcome the Industrial, Scientific and Technological Agreement. I will not spend further words on that. We're also happy with the creation of the Italian-Israeli Foundation for Arts and Culture and with the signature of the new Cultural Executive Program. Both instruments will contribute to the further strengthening of the cultural cooperation between our two countries. There is, of course, the very sensitive area of the regional relations. And let me say here that we consider Israel's security also our security in Europe and beyond. We reject in the strongest terms all threats to regional stability and condemn as outrageous and unacceptable any denial of the terrible tragedy of the Shoah, as well as any threats to the very existence of Israel. And we express to you, Mr. Prime Minister, our heartfelt solidarity for the recent rocket attacks in the south of your country. And we are introducing legislation in the Italian Parliament on the denial of the Holocaust, because we, as I had the opportunity of stressing on the 16th of October, in a very intensive and touching meeting with the Jewish community in Rome, we need really to be at any moment vigilant about things that we might consider gone forever, but we know that this is never necessarily the case. Italy is committed to continuing the strengthening and the promotion of the ties between Israel and the European Union and its cooperation with NATO within the respective frameworks agreed with the European partners. We share Israel's conviction that a just and lasting solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict can only be achieved through direct negotiations based on the principle of two states for two peoples, with the state of Israel as a Jewish state and the homeland of the Jewish people, and an independent, democratic, contiguous, and viable state of Palestine as the homeland of the Palestinian people, living side by side in peace and security and mutual recognition. Italy trusts this is also the desire of the Arab people all over the Middle East at a time of great changes and unprecedented challenges. I strongly believe that the process of reform that Israel's neighbors have started is certainly not without challenges, but is rich with opportunities that will eventually promote the spreading of democracy and peace. It is in this spirit that Italy calls on Iran to fully demonstrate the civilian and peaceful nature of its nuclear program and to abide by all its international obligations. Italy also strongly condemns the atrocities committed by the Syrian regime against its own people and calls on all parties to immediately stop all violence and commit to a political process that puts the will of the Syrians first. To finish, let me say again how deeply satisfied we are with our meeting, and I personally am of my meeting with you, and of the conclusions of our many agreements signed today. And with the same enthusiasm, Prime Minister, we look forward to Israel's key participation to the Milan Expo 2015, an excellent opportunity to broadcast to the whole world the achievement of the startup nation. And let's work together within the limits of our possibilities for a startup Mediterranean and a startup world.
It's
Thank
a very
you very
good.
much.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Thank you, Mario. I will just respond that we had our ministers spoke very briefly, just to highlight key points. Our foreign ministers spoke about cooperation. We consider the cooperation in third countries in addition to our own bilateral cooperations. Our defense ministers spoke about Iran, as you just did, and I think we stressed the importance of preventing Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons. From our point of view, nuclear weapons capability through tougher sanctions and other pressures. Our justice ministers spoke about the importance of cementing the rule of law, spreading it with exchanges. Our science ministers spoke about very innovative scientific exchanges and what we call excellence centers, which Italy is doing on its own. We're doing on our own, and we can merge them in addition to having satellites in space. And our transportation ministers spoke about cooperation in a variety of fields of transportation, but the one thing that is perhaps most important is the project that we have of connecting Asia to Europe with a land rail bridge, and this is something that we keenly are interested in, and I think that Italian companies and Italy as a country should be interested in. As far as your own commitment in the battle against Holocaust denial, I want to express my personal appreciation for the positions you've articulated and the stance that you've taken. It's very, very important. I also would like to say officially that we're going to be in the Milan Expo. Now, you can interpret the word "we" as you wish. It's definitely going to include Italy and Israel, and possibly it would include we. Welcome again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good.